Hey guys, so today we're checking out the Barricade HD stubby front bumper fitting all 2016 and newer Toyota Tacomas. Now this front bumper by Barricade will be a great option for the Tacoma owner who's looking for some solid front end protection on top of their factory front bumper at a very affordable price. This will also be great if you don't want a full bumper that will require modification and you like the look that a stubby front bumper achieves. Now speaking of looks, with the heavy-duty construction, the bull bar, the mesh windows here, this will offer more of an off-road feel to the front end of your truck. This will also be very durable and able to take a hit that will save the front end when it comes to any front end obstacles off-road made of a strong steel construction. Now, of course, on top, you will be getting that black powder coat finish that's going to protect the steel underneath, assist in a more rugged look for the front end of your truck, and of course, match with any other textured black accessories. Now, what I really like about this option is that it keeps it simple and to the point, perfect for somebody who doesn't necessarily need all of the extra bells and whistles when it comes to recovery or additional lighting on the front. Now, this is also going to come with some windows or some mesh panels for each of these cutouts here, which will add more of a sporty look. And what I like about this choice is that it's going to have this large cutout in the middle if you'd like to add a light bar in the future, helping out the visibility when it comes to the front end of your truck. Not to mention, this will just come with everything that you need in order to install it, including seals for around the sides here that will offer a very finished look when this is added to the front bumper. Now, when it comes to pricing, this will sit at roughly $450, making this one of your most affordable choices for a front bumper in the category. Now, when comparing this to some other options available on the page, this will give you the basics. Like I mentioned before, this is going to give you that off-road look. It's going to offer a light mounting choice, and it's also going to give you that front end protection that you may be looking for the front of your truck. Now again, some other choices on the page may come with additional bells and whistles. They may have recovery points, a winch plate, or even lighting included in the kit, as to where this again is simple and straightforward, but I like the fact that you can build off of this and customize it to your own personal preference. Now last but certainly not least, this doesn't require any modification or cutting. This just is added to your factory front bumper in comparison to some other choices that will require cutting or modification to the front bumper itself or your factory fenders, which will keep you a little bit of peace of mind here, knowing that you won't have to do any of that, and it's also going to be a less permanent modification while having a very straightforward install. So again, if you don't need all of the options, all of the bells and whistles, you're really just in search of something that's going to give you protection and style, then this is going to be right up your alley. Now when it comes to install, this will be a straightforward 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter. Again, this is completely bolt on, so you don't have to do any modification. So you'll need some basic hand tools and probably 2 hours worth of your time. Now one of our installers here is going to walk you through that process step by step. Let's go ahead and get into the install.
Tools used for today's install: a 3/8 cordless, Phillips screwdriver, flathead screwdriver, 19mm wrench, 13mm wrench, 10mm wrench, 3/8 ratchet, 10mm, 13mm, 14mm, 16mm, and 18mm sockets, 4mm Allen socket, a short stubby, pair of diagonal cutters, trim removal tool, plastic fastener removal tool, and a microfiber cloth. What's up, guys? I'm going to be going over the removal process of your front bumper. Let's get started. All right, so the first part of this uninstall is we're going to have to remove the grill. We're going to have 2 pop clips or plastic fasteners here, and then 2 10mm bolts here and here. We're going to start with the pop clips with our removal tool on this side. One. All right, now we're going to remove our 2 10mm bolts with our 10mm socket. Now that we have all of our fasteners removed off of our grill, we're going to go ahead and remove the grill. You're going to grab these 2 like ear type things, lift up, grab down here, and pull straight out. All right, now that our grill is removed, we have access to our other plastic fastener clips. We're going to have 6 total, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm going to go ahead and start removing those now. All right, so now we're on the side of the vehicle. We're gonna need to remove a 10mm bolt on the side here, and also we're gonna need to pop out this fender flare. I'm gonna start with removing the 10mm bolt that's back here. We got our 10mm socket. All right, so now that we have that bolt out, it's time to kind of pull back our fender flare. I have our trim tool and a rag, microfiber, so we don't scratch the paint. And we are just gonna stick it back in there and turn. And just like that, just enough to free up the bumper. All right, so now that we have our fender flare slightly off, you can grab back behind the bumper and you're just gonna pull like that. And we're gonna slowly lower it down. And you are going to repeat this exact same process on the other side. All right, now that we have our bumper lowered, we're gonna disconnect our wiring harness to our fog light assemblies, just so that way when our bumper is off, we can just take it and remove it. You're gonna have a tab just like that. You're gonna push and pull apart. All right, so now we're under the vehicle. On each right corner, you're gonna see bolts, and there's gonna be almost like a gap for this front flare. There's gonna be two 10mm bolts in that gap. We're gonna use our 10mm socket and remove this side. And then that's gonna drop our bumper down, and you're gonna repeat that same process for the other side. All right, so now we're under the vehicle. You're gonna see this black lower lip is gonna have kind of two indentations, and there's gonna be two 10mm bolts, one on either side. We're gonna remove one on each side, or I'm sorry, correction, we're gonna remove both of those bolts, and then that should drop our bumper down. We're gonna have our 10mm socket, and we're gonna remove that now. And you're going to repeat that same process on the other side. All right, so once you have all of these bolts removed, we're just gonna grab our bumper like so and pull it straight off. All right, so for this section, we are going to be removing the centerpiece on the bumper itself. I'm gonna flip it around and I'm gonna show you how to remove that now. All right, so in order to remove this now, we're gonna have clips going around the entire perimeter. They're gonna have kind of like a wing going the opposite way. You just wanna make sure that you pry that up so you're not breaking that off as we're pushing it through. We're gonna start at the top. I'm gonna use my flathead and just start pushing them in and through. And remember to keep like positive pressure on it so it doesn't wanna come back toward you. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and flip it around and pull it out. All right, now we're gonna flip it around and remove it. All right, once all the clips and fasteners on the inside are loose and you know you're not gonna break anything, you can go ahead and just pull it off. All right, so for this part, I'm gonna show you how to install the brackets that are gonna hold the bumper into place. We're gonna take these two 14mm bolts and loosen them and take them all the way off. We have our 14mm socket with our ratchet. I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. And once you crack them loose, you should be able to turn them by hand. You're gonna put our hardware up on top because we are going to be reusing that. We're gonna get our bracket, and these are sided. There's gonna be a P and a D stamped on it. P indicating passenger. We are on the passenger side, and it's gonna go on just like this. And then you can get your nuts and just get these hand tight. And now we do have a larger bolt that's gonna have to go through the cross member. I'm gonna show you that right now. All right, so for the last bolt for the bracket, we're gonna use our 12 millimeter by 120 millimeter hex bolt, along with our 12 by 44 large spacer, a spacer washer. We're gonna insert this through the back. You gotta find your hole right here. Insert that through the back. And you're gonna kind of have to line it through this cross member. You don't want to put it all the way through because we are gonna have to use this spacer here, which is gonna go in between the bracket. Okay, line that up, push it through. Once you have your spacer installed, you are then going to get your 12 millimeter by 32 flat washer. You could put that over there, along finally with our 12 millimeter lock nut. It's gonna go on the other end of that. We can get that started. There we go. Okay. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and start tightening all of this down. All right, so now we're gonna, once you have that larger bolt pass through the bracket, we're gonna tighten these two 14 millimeter bolts with our 14 millimeter socket and ratchet. I like to hold it over, kind of keep it leveled and aligned as we tighten this. All right, now that those are tight, we can work on tightening this bolt up. All right, so now we're gonna tighten down the 12 by 120 millimeter bolt. The nut will be a 19 millimeter. We have our wrench, we're gonna put that over there, and the bolt head is gonna be 18 millimeter, and we have that on our cordless. We're gonna tighten that down right now. And you are going to want to repeat this exact same procedure on the other side. All right, so now it's time to install our center mesh insert. We're going to just insert it right here. And we're going to have bolts, combination bolts, along with our hex flange bolts. We're going to stick these in this way, and the nut should go on the upside. I'm going to get that started by hand. Going to get a combo bolt with our flange nut. Try and line this up so you can see it. There we go, I'll get that started. Same thing with the bottom. And with your supplied Allen key, 4 millimeter, and a 10 millimeter wrench for the other end, we are just gonna turn this in until it's nice and snug. And then same thing at the bottom. All right, now we're gonna do the bottom. I am gonna use our ratcheting wrench, 10 millimeter, just to get it done a little quicker. All right, so now it's time to install our brackets for the center mesh piece section. Again, this bumper is upside down. We're doing this for video purposes to make it easier for you to see, but you're gonna have this like thicker section. This thicker section here is gonna face toward the up, and the flatter section, thinner section is gonna face down, almost like an L. It's gonna go in. Just wanted to show you exactly what I was talking about. Again, it's gonna face like that. And it's gonna go on just like that. And then we're gonna get our hardware, which are 8 by 25 bolts. You're gonna get your washer on the bolt side. Get another washer. Make sure you have a lock washer. And then finally, our nut. We're gonna just run this in until it's nice and hand tight. I'm gonna move along and do the other side. Oop. Again, 8x25, flat washer first. Might need to hold that in there. Flat washer again. Lock washer. And finally your nut. We're gonna bring those in by hand, and we are not gonna tighten these just yet because we do need to move down and install these bolts. I'm gonna get those now. All right, so now it's time to install our bottom bolts, or actually rather our top bolts, because the bumper is upside down. These are gonna be 8x25. Same thing we did down here. Washer on the head side. Another washer. Lock washer. And nut. And just go ahead and run that in as far as you can by hand. Moving over, same thing, 8x25, washer, flat washer, lock washer, and nut. All right. Now that we have everything tightened up by hand, we can go ahead and tighten everything up now with our tools. I got my 13mm ratchet with my 13mm wrench. I'm going to start on the sides. Move along to the other side. Again, 13 and 13. And then finally, we're gonna go get our Allen and 10mm wrench and tighten these two down. All right, now we're gonna tighten these down with our 10mm and supplied Allen key, which should be a 4mm. If you have a socket Allen, that'll work as well. Just gonna give it one final tighten. Same thing here, nice and snug. All right, now we're gonna tighten down our 8x25s, our two last bolts, at the top of the bumper or at the bottom of your screen. Again, 13mm, wrench and socket. And we're gonna move over to the other side. All right, so I just wanted to touch base. You are gonna have two more brackets. They are going to install like this. It's gonna be 8x25 is gonna be your mounting to mount the bracket, and then 8x16 would be for the light. We don't have a light to install in this, so we're not going to install these brackets, but I just wanted to touch base in case you were wondering why you had two extra brackets. So we're gonna put these aside for now and continue with the installation. All right, so now with everything behind us, it's time to reinstall our bumper. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get these clips that we removed along here. I'm gonna put one in right there, kind of keep this side from moving on us so I can secure this side more. Gonna lift it up. Okay, now we're gonna just go along. I'm gonna actually throw one in right here. That way, if this does want to try and move on us, it's not gonna go anywhere. And then now I'm gonna get the remaining of all of our plastic fasteners and metal fasteners, and we're gonna go and just install them. Put one here. All right, and I wanna remind you to plug in your fog light harness again, and make sure you hear that variable click. And then you just push in and make sure it's nice and where it's supposed to be. And we can start assembling our fender flare again. and we are finally gonna pop in this side, and along with this fender flare. And then we can go back down to the bottom and start putting those bolts in. And we're gonna reinstall those two 10mm bolts on that front lower lip where that indentation is, and get our 10mm on our cordless and tighten that up. And we're gonna do the same thing on the other side and this side as well. Okay, so now it's time to install our bumper edge trim. We got our edge trim right there and our pair of diagonal cutters or dikes, because this is a trim to fit. We're gonna start on that right now. Just gonna grab it like so and start at the bottom edge and walk your way up. And what this is gonna do, this is gonna protect obviously this from meeting the paint on your car and scratching it. You can kind of go back and make sure it's pressed in all the way. Looking pretty good so far. All right, so now that we have this applied, obviously, as you can see, we got quite a bit of extra left over. If you want, you could go a little bit further down like this around the other end. We're not gonna do that. We're just gonna cut it right here using our diagonal cutters or dikes. And I'm going to cut that right now. Just like that. You can put this off to the side. And now we're gonna take this over to our Tacoma. All right, so now that we have our bumper installed, we're gonna put our grill back on. Quite simple, same way it came off. You're gonna have these pegs, you're gonna line up with the holes right on the headlight there. Push it in. And make sure that those top supports clip on to those fasteners correctly. Now we're gonna go get our pins and bolts and tighten them down. All right, so we're gonna start with installing or reinstalling our plastic fasteners, one here and one here. I'm gonna start by putting this one in, push down, same thing, push down, then our two 10mm bolts. Get those hands started. And with our 10mm socket on our cordless, we're gonna go ahead and tighten these down. All right, so now it's time to install our bumper to our brackets. It's a good idea to get your hardware handy right now. They should be the 10 by 30mm. We're gonna go ahead, line this up. Just like so. And we're gonna start putting our hardware in now. All right, now that we have our bumper where we need it to be, we're gonna get our 10 by 30 bolt with our lock washer on the head and the flat washer on the outside, and we're gonna line these up. What I like to do is I like to get my knee underneath of it and kind of push upward. Sorry if I get my head in the shot, I'm just trying to see to line these bolts up. Get the center one started. Get our second one. And finally our third one. And we are kind of just running these in by hand. We're gonna leave them loose. We're gonna go repeat this exact same process on the other side. Once you get the other side in, then we can go around and start tightening these down. All right, now that we have all 6 bolts in by hand, we're gonna get our 16mm socket on our ratchet and go ahead and start tightening these down. All right, and you're gonna repeat this exact same process on the other side. All right, so now that all 6 of our bolts are tight for the bumper, it's time to insert our side mesh inserts. We're gonna be using our combination screws, 6mm combination screws, and they're gonna be 4mm Allen heads. You have the Allen key that is included with the kit, but we're gonna use our Allen socket. You're gonna go ahead, these are side oriented, so make sure you have the correct side. They're gonna go on just like that. We're going to start these all by hand. Now we're going to take our 4mm Allen socket with our cordless and tighten these down. You're going to repeat the same process on the other side. All right, the good news is this is the final step of the installation, is we're going to insert our license plate plugs, which are going to go here and here. So that'll wrap up this review and install for the Barricade HD stubby front bumper fitting your 2016 Takara Tacomas. Thanks for watching, and for all things Tacoma, keep it right here at extremeterrain.com.